What's new, Scooby-Doo? Plugged In is back and better than ever. I'm your host, Xander, with Owen and Max, and today we're going to be discussing Attack on Titan, the new Marvels movie, and so much more. Let's roll that intro. You know what I love doing? I love taking the nice scenic route, driving. Do you think we'll get that with the new Mario Kart DLC?
Oh, absolutely. We've got quite a few good tracks coming up. We've got the Acorn Cup and the Spiny Cup, I believe they're called. We've got a couple of tracks from a variety of different Mario Kart games. I believe Tour and 3DS are some of the more common ones, while games such as DS, we've got nothing out of that, which is really a disappointment in my eyes. I thought we could get a really good track out of Airship Fortress, but it just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, DS is such a classic. Everybody had the DS playing Mario Kart.
Yeah, honestly, I'm just excited because this kind of renews my nostalgia for the game because it's been forever since I've had a good, nice sit-down session, play some Mario Kart. I'm trying to not get my butt kicked by my younger brother, but that's besides the point. I'm just excited for this DLC to come out.
Was there any maps you were hoping they would add in, or that didn't make the cut?
Obviously, the aforementioned Airship Fortress was one that I was hoping would be there. Wii Rainbow Road was one that a lot of people were hyping up, and that actually did make the cut, which I thought was pretty good. And there were a couple of DK tracks on there. There was DK Mountain that made the cut, and I think it's a pretty good track. I do think DK Summit is better than DK Mountain, but DK Mountain's pretty good.
Honestly, I'm just excited to get Rainbow Road back. That's one of my favorite maps of all time. Granted, sometimes I do suck at the map, but it's just such a fun map to be able to race on, especially when it's 12 o'clock at night. You got nothing to do. You and your homies are tired. It's let's throw on some Mario Kart and go on Rainbow Road.
That's your first mistake, because if you go on Rainbow Road at 12 o'clock at night, you're going to be screaming, and then you wake everybody in the whole house up.
That's the most fun part about it, It's just when you throw on Rainbow Road, there's ultimate chaos going on.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it,
I'm always falling off the side of that.
That's kind of the best part about the map because it challenges you it forces you to actually pay attention and play the game. So I'm excited for it to get back in the game.
Now, do they add, I know there's a variety of characters. Do they add new ones with the DLCs or no?
They did add some new characters with the DLC. They finally brought back Funky Kong. Although they did add in, for some reason, they added in Peachette, which is when you play New Super Mario Bros. And you get Toadette and you get that one super crown that turns her into Peachette, which, in my opinion, it's a little bit of a waste for that character, but hey, we did get Birdo and Wiggler in previous DLC, so I'm not going to complain.
You know what character I would really hope they added?
Which character?
Eren Yeager.
So you're telling me you want a genocidal maniac as someone to drive in Mario Kart?
Yeah, of course.
Didn't they kill him off?
Spoilers, dude.
Spoilers? Well, that's what we're talking about, actually.
But spoilers later on.
So, what was your thoughts on the ending?
It was, all right. Many people are going to hate me for this, but I actually really love how they did the ending, even despite the amount of controversy surrounding the original manga ending with, I don't want Mikasa to be with somebody else. I want to be alive. I still thought they did a really good job with wrapping up the series as a whole. Just seeing all the characters come together and take down the founding Titan, especially Armin's conversation with Zeke being adapted to a live-action screen, not live-action, animated screen. That was just so amazing to see, and just seeing how kind of poetic the series ended, especially with that last final shot in the post-credits with the boy walking into the tree, which is basically a callback to Ymir walking into the tree and getting the power of the founding Titans, and kind of seeing how it's, the cycle's almost repeating itself like we've seen throughout this entire series where Eren's repeating itself. I'm going on a tangent now, but it was amazing.
Was there, a lot of characters sadly died. Was there one that really just hit you where it hurts?
Honestly, I feel like the main one for me that just, It's got to be Aaron's death, to be honest. As much as he was annoying in like the first couple seasons, the way that they built up his character, even in that last manga panel shot, I feel like it hit me. Like it hit me pretty freaking hard. Like just the way how like, you know, Mikasa was holding his head at like the end of it, and just how you have like just Aaron's head, and it looks like he's finally peacefully resting despite all the stress that he's gone through, and having to basically essentially put up an act, knowing that he can't change his fate. It's almost really tragic and sad, but also, you know, it's amazing.
Now, Owen, do you watch Attack on Titan? Are you familiar?
I know about Attack on Titan, yes. I think the better question is, in the season finale, who didn't die?
Well, a decent amount of characters actually pretty survive. Like, you know, Levi, of all people, somehow survived despite being broken everywhere. I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, the funniest death was probably Zeke's death, because he literally just came out, finally escaped the founding Titan. He's like, yeah, I'm alive. And then Levi's just like, not today. And it's just kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie.
I actually know quite a bit about Attack on Titan because my brother and my mother actually watched Attack on Titan. They watched seasons 1 and 2. I don't know for sure if they watched season 3, but that's about the extent of my knowledge on Attack on Titan. I also know that Aaron's mother in the first season basically got eaten by one of the Titans and cut in half with that cinematic death scene.
Speaking of which, it's actually kind of even more screwed up when you think about it, because Aaron is the reason why his mother died. Because he lured, without knowing, he kind of lured that Titan instead of eating Bertolt, the previous, what is it called? Yeah, I'm not gonna, whatever. Anyways, but yeah, I love Attack on Titan, it's amazing.
You know, it's a real shame that it's ending, because all good things must come to an end, because not everything's invincible. The new season of Invincible premiered last week. Did you guys watch the episode?
Yes, absolutely.
What were your thoughts?
I thought it was amazing because just seeing the introduction of Angstrom Levy, I guess. I always called him Levy, but Angstrom I'm going to say Levy. Seeing his introduction into the series and seeing all these alternate universes of different evil marks where he actually teams up with his father, I always thought was an interesting concept. And the fact that they're actually bringing that into the animated series is amazing to me.
I personally have not watched a lot of Invincible. I'm more of a video game person than an animation person, especially in recent times, but I do have some knowledge of Invincible. I know Omni-Man, the one guy who I guess this show is named after. I also know this one clip from the series where the other guy, the blue and yellow guy, I don't remember what his name is again. Can someone fill me in? Invincible. Where he tries to throw a punch at Omni-Man. Omni-Man goes, please. And then basically knocks him into the low Earth orbits.
Do you have any theories on where the season's going to go?
So, based on the comics, I'm pretty sure we're leading up to the, I think it's called like the Mark War arc, where essentially there's a bunch of alternate versions of Mark that are brought into the main Invincible universe, where they're all evil and they try to kill Mark and each other. So that's going to be interesting to see. I don't know if they're necessarily going to be doing it this season, but I know they're going to be doing it at some point. And I'm also excited to see more of the, I think it's called the Galactic Alliance or whatever they're called, the ones that, you know, stand against the Viltrumites. Actually getting to see those guys are going to be, it's going to be pretty sick. And also seeing Alan the Alien get absolutely jacked. Like, when I saw that panel in the comics, I was like, oh my God. I can't wait to see those man's delts adapted to the 2D screen. Sorry, the bodybuilder in me is coming out.
No, it's fine, man. You're a bodybuilder. I can tell.
I'm just a dude who lives.
When do you guys think Omni-Man's coming back?
Well, we did see that, I think in the comics in particular, that he ends up going to another planet and Mark has to end up going finding him. I don't think that's necessarily going to happen this season. When it does get adapted to the screen, it's going to be pretty cool.
So Omni-Man basically pulled a Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, he did. He really did, but he also, like, was not good like Dr. Manhattan. He killed a lot of people and then couldn't go through with finishing the deed.
Whereas Dr. Manhattan, everyone knows the end of Watchmen where he killed Rorschach and then fled Earth.
Yeah.
He dipped.
Will you watch it now, Owen? Have
I
we
th-
piqued your interest?
I think you have piqued my interest, and I think it is something that I would be willing to watch. I have been a little bit of an animation person my entire life, although I was more so in my teen years. I've had a bit of history with animation. I actually had a YouTube channel where I made drag and drop animation, but it's garbage. Don't watch it. Moved on from that now, so haven't really been as much into animation. More so into video games, as I suggested a topic for Mario Kart 8 this week, and we did speak about it. But it's something I would consider.
Any returning characters you're excited to see?
Well, I'm definitely, like I said, Alan the Alien. Can't wait to see that guy. I'm also excited to see how they bring back. I know they brought back Eve. We didn't really get to see much of her, but considering that the special they released in between seasons, like which was basically Adam and Eve's origin story, I can't wait how they're gonna divulge even more onto her character. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, she's one of my favorite characters. You know who's also an amazing female superhero? Captain Marvel. The Marvels premieres tomorrow. You
Yeah.
guys excited for that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just with MCU movies as of lately. I've just kind of had my expectations pretty lowered. I'm hoping this is pretty good, but I don't, seeing some of the Rotten Tomato scores is just kind of. But I'm still holding out hope, Call me naive, but I just, I want to watch an MCU movie. I'm hoping that it's good. I'm praying to God that it's good. End of story.
Me personally, I gotta be honest, I'm not the biggest movie person either. I will see some movies, but I actually did see the trailer for the Marvels, and I saw a lot of the Avengers in there and Captain Marvel. A lot of the choreographed fight scenes with Captain Marvel looked different, I'll put it that way. There was a lot of action in the trailer. Although I did seem to find out that the trailer on YouTube had more dislikes than likes.
Ooh.
I mean, that could just be people don't have really high expectations. It could also be that people are unfair and not giving the movie a shot. But like at the same time, there's a lot of people out there who just like to ride a hate train or like a train of like, oh, a bandwagon, I'm gonna like support this because it's popular, or I'm gonna hate this because it's popular. Like some people just like to hate because they like hating, and also they might have no life.
That's not how we roll.
I'm very excited. I think it's going to be a pretty fun movie.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's definitely going to be some entertainment value. Just seeing Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel and, was it Captain... Oh, I forget her name. It slipped my mind.
Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, Captain Monica Rambeau. Just seeing all three of them and their chemistry together, just from the trailers alone, it looks pretty interesting. And seeing how that's actually going to play in like an actual plot, and seeing how in the trailers there's somebody who's carrying out Thanos' legacy, and how that's going to basically, like, it's kind of like an after effect of Endgame. That's going to be really interesting to see.
Any returning characters from the MCU you're looking forward to popping up here and there?
Well, obviously, Captain Marvel, being the overpowered character that she is, she's definitely going to be interesting. I wonder if they're going to, like, have an opponent that's almost as equally as strong as her to face in this movie. Well, I guess probably even stronger than her, because it's going to be all three of them against one person. And I'm definitely excited to see Captain Rambeau, because she played a critical role in WandaVision. So seeing her actually brought to the main screen is going to be pretty cool.
I'm excited to see Goose.
Yeah.
He's my favorite little guy.
That is pretty. Yeah. What about you, Ola?
Well, they brought back the Avengers, they brought back Iron Man, and I was quite surprised to figure out all the Endgame references that they had in the trailer. They even showed a shot of the scene in Endgame where Tony Stark steals the Infinity Gauntlet and says bye-bye to Thanos.
I think that was just a flashback.
Could be.
Yeah, I don't think it was actually in the movie. I think it's just a flashback.
Even so, it was interesting to see that.
Speaking of upcoming movies, we have Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Napoleon,
Yep.
Wish, and
Yep.
Dream Scenario. You guys gonna be watching any of those?
Definitely Napoleon and
Yep.
definitely Hunger Games because those two movies have been on my radar for a while and I am so excited to see them. Especially Hunger Games because number one, it's been forever since we had a Hunger Games movie. And number two, it's just going to be interesting to see what they do for a prequel. Also Napoleon, it just looks amazing. Like the trailers, it looks like it's going to be something worthy of watching.
A lot of my friends have been hyping up Napoleon, so I think it could be something worth watching. And as for the Hunger Games, I have seen quite a few trailers for Hunger Games, and the last Hunger Games movie was Mockingjay Part 2, correct?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see a new Hunger Games movie. I actually did read the Hunger Games first book, you know, the one with the 24 people in the arena. Everybody knows that. But I think it'll be interesting to see a new Hunger Games movie come up.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week's episode. I'm Xander, along with Owen and Max. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week with another riveting discussion in the world of pop culture. Have a good night, Millersville.